aged cheese. What's the blue in the blue vein cheese? The blue in the blue vein cheese is mould. So the only cheeses that don't sit under that category, the cheeses that have probably a pH of 7 would be your fresh. So that's your cottage, your ricotta. I'm not saying that they are okay, because usually they come from cows who have not been fed right or have chemicals in them. But on the pH scale, they're not as acid. Caffeine, all your caffeine foods and drinks have an acid effect. And of course, caffeine usually comes hand in hand with the sugar, which certainly ups it. And remember our 2.6 Coca-Cola, that's a combination of the caffeine and the sugar. Did you know that Coca-Cola is called Coca-Cola because I think it was in the early part of the 20th century they put cocaine in it. And then they went over to caffeine, which is just as dangerous.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Barbara O'Neill, and today I will uncover deadly foods to avoid and the healthier alternatives you can choose instead. Many of us don't realise that some common foods can have serious negative impacts on our health, potentially leading to chronic diseases and other serious conditions. For instance, did you know that consuming too much processed sugar can increase your risk of heart disease by up to 30%? That's why it's crucial to be aware of what we're putting into our bodies. In this lecture, we'll identify these harmful foods and discuss the alternatives that can nourish your body and support your overall health. As a thank you for joining me today, we're giving away 100 free copies of my best-selling book to subscribers. So if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, like this video, and comment why you want to win.
Let's have a look at acid-forming foods now. These acid-forming foods are high in the acid-forming minerals, which is phosphorus, sulfur, and chlorine. So what foods are high in phosphorus, sulfur, and chlorine? Meat. This explains why Dr. Colin Campbell found he could turn cancer cells on and off like a switch by the amount of meat and dairy products he was giving the rats. Refined sugar, it's very acid forming. The hybridized wheat, the hybridization of the wheat created a lot more of the acid forming minerals.
Acid-forming foods such as meat, refined sugar, and hybridized wheat pose health risks because they can disrupt the body's pH balance. Our bodies naturally maintain a slightly alkaline pH level, and when we consume too many acid-forming foods, it can force the body to work harder to neutralize the acid. Over time, this can lead to several health issues. One of the primary concerns is the loss of essential minerals, particularly calcium. To neutralize the acid from these foods, the body often pulls calcium from bones, leading to weakened bones and an increased risk of osteoporosis. Studies have shown that diets high in acid-forming foods are linked to lower bone density and higher rates of fractures. Another concern is kidney health. The kidneys are responsible for filtering excess acid from the blood, and a high intake of acid-forming foods can put extra strain on these organs. Over time, this can contribute to the development of kidney stones and may increase the risk of chronic kidney disease. A study published in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases highlighted that people with diets high in acid-forming foods are more likely to suffer from kidney dysfunction. Acid-forming foods can also promote inflammation in the body. Chronic inflammation is a contributing factor in a wide range of diseases, including heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. For example, excessive consumption of refined sugar is known to spike insulin levels, leading to inflammation and increasing the risk of metabolic conditions. Similarly, processed meats and dairy products are linked to higher levels of inflammation, which can promote the growth of cancer cells, as Dr. Colin Campbell's research on rats demonstrated.
Alcohol is not a food, but it creates an acid environment in the body. Tobacco is not a food, but it also creates an acid environment in the body. all your other grains, other than the grains that sit on the alkaline side, all your other legumes, other than the lima, lentil and soy, and all your other nuts, other than the almond and Brazil, have an acid effect. To maintain the 6.5 environment, we need to be consuming 20% acid-forming foods and 80%, 70 to 80% alkaline-forming foods. And I'm sure you're not surprised to hear me say that the 20% should come from this section here. Yes, oatmeal is here. Yes, rice is here. They're not bad grains. We need a little acid. Yes, your chickpeas are here, and your garbanzos, your chickpeas, your black-eyed beans, your kidney beans. They're not bad. Of course they're not bad. We need a little acid. It's when the whole meal is acid that tips the scales. How many Americans would be eating 90% acid, 10% alkaline? Is that true? No wonder cancer and heart disease are neck to neck for the #1 killers in the world today. Far more people die from alcohol-related diseases. Far more people die from tobacco-related diseases. And yet they're not banning tobacco or alcohol, are they? That's why the deaths to COVID fade into insignificance against all of these. That's why God gave us a sound mind to assess these things.
When considering the impact of certain foods on our health, it's essential to recognise the difference between those that contribute to an acidic environment in the body and those that help maintain an alkaline state. Understanding this distinction can significantly influence dietary choices and overall well-being. One of the primary culprits in creating an acidic environment is refined sugar. This ingredient is prevalent in many processed foods, from soft drinks to baked goods. Excessive sugar consumption can lead to inflammation, weight gain, and an increased risk of chronic diseases such as diabetes and heart disease. Alternatives to refined sugar include natural sweeteners like honey, maple syrup, or stevia. These options provide sweetness with fewer negative effects on the body's pH levels and often come with additional nutrients. Another significant contributor to acidity is processed grains, particularly white flour. These grains have been stripped of their fibre and nutrients, leading to rapid spikes in blood sugar levels. Instead of refined grains, whole grains such as quinoa, brown rice, and oats should be preferred. These options are not only more nutritious, but also have a more favourable impact on the body's acid-alkaline balance. Whole grains contain fibre, which supports digestive health and helps stabilise blood sugar levels. Animal protein, particularly red and processed meats, is another food group often associated with an acidic environment. While protein is necessary for bodily functions, excessive consumption of meat can lead to an acid overload. Leaner protein sources, such as chicken, turkey, and fish, can be better options. Moreover, plant-based protein sources, including legumes, nuts, and seeds, not only provide protein, but also offer beneficial nutrients and help maintain a more alkaline environment. Dairy products, especially full-fat versions, can also contribute to acidity. While dairy is a good source of calcium and other nutrients, many people are lactose intolerant or sensitive to dairy, which can exacerbate inflammation. Alternatives like almond milk, coconut yogurt, or soy milk can be beneficial substitutes. These options often come fortified with vitamins and minerals and are less likely to disturb the body's pH balance. Fried foods and trans fats are notorious for their negative health impacts. Foods like French fries, donuts, and processed snacks can promote inflammation and contribute to an acidic state. Instead, opting for healthier fats, such as those found in avocados, olive oil, and nuts, can support heart health and help maintain an alkaline environment. On the other hand, fruits and vegetables are powerful allies in promoting alkalinity. Leafy greens such as spinach, kale and Swiss chard are excellent choices that provide essential nutrients and support a healthy pH balance. Fruits like bananas, apples and berries also contribute to an alkaline environment while providing antioxidants and vitamins that are vital for overall health. It's also crucial to consider beverages. Many soft drinks, energy drinks and even excessive coffee consumption can lead to acidity. Water is the best choice for hydration, and herbal teas can also provide various health benefits without the acidic effects of sugary beverages or caffeine. Incorporating more alkaline-forming foods into your diet can lead to numerous health benefits, including improved energy levels, better digestion, and reduced inflammation. It's about making conscious choices and seeking balance. Focus on whole, unprocessed foods, and prioritize fruits, vegetables, whole grains and healthy fats.
Lima beans and lentils and soy are the three alkaline forming legumes. For your grains, the millet is alkaline. We had millet this morning. It's a delicious grain, isn't it? I'm sure you can understand when I said it needs to be dressed. It's basically a bland grain, but it's very nice with the stewed apple and the pear cream and the sprinkles on top. Or it's also very nice if you have it with savoury, your lentils. Quinoa, I think we'll be having quinoa at another breakfast time. These are alkaline grains, but they're also gluten-free grains, so that's made them very popular. Amaranth. Amaranth is a grain that's not very well known. I think the Aztecs, traditionally they've eaten the quinoa and the amaranth. It's a very tiny grain, and when you cook it, it goes like a lump of glue. But what I often do when my grandsons are with us, because they like a porridge, I'll put a little amaranth with the millet, or I'll put a little amaranth with the quinoa, or if they have oats, I'll put a little amaranth with the oats. So that's quite nice.
What makes these foods some of the best choices comes down to how nutritious and easy they are on the body. Lima beans, lentils and soy are all alkaline forming, which helps keep your body's pH levels in check. Plus, they're loaded with nutrients. For example, lima beans are high in fibre, which is great for digestion, and they provide complex carbs that give you long-lasting energy. Lentils are an excellent source of protein and iron, especially for people who don't eat meat. Soy is unique because it's one of the few plant-based foods that has all the essential amino acids your body needs, making it a great protein option. Then you have the grains like millet, quinoa and amaranth. Millet is alkaline too and packed with magnesium, which is good for your muscles and heart. Since it's gluten-free, it's a perfect option for anyone with gluten sensitivities. It's also really versatile, mild in flavour, so it works well in both sweet and savoury dishes. Quinoa is often called a superfood for good reason. Not only is it high in protein, but it also contains all 9 essential amino acids, which is rare for plant-based foods. On top of that, quinoa is high in fibre, iron and magnesium, which support everything from digestion to immunity. It's filling without being heavy, making it a great option for meals throughout the day. Amaranth, even though it's not as popular, is packed with nutrition. Like quinoa, it's a complete protein, but it also has a lot of lysine, which helps with tissue growth and repair. Plus, it's rich in calcium, which is important for strong bones. While amaranth can get a bit sticky when cooked, you can easily mix it with other grains like millet or quinoa to improve the texture and taste. These legumes and grains are not just gluten-free, but also alkaline forming, which can help reduce inflammation and promote a healthy gut. They offer a great mix of protein, fibre, and essential nutrients that support overall health. Adding them to your diet can help keep your energy levels up, support digestion, and provide key nutrients without needing to rely on animal products.
Now, never in the history of mankind have human beings eaten so many carbohydrates. So we're going to do a carbohydrate assessment here. Carbohydrates are an important part of the food group, but the problem is today carbohydrates are being overused and refined. So let's do an assessment of what many people have for breakfast. We know what many people have for breakfast because you just go into the supermarket aisle and there's a whole aisle of it. What is it? It is cereal. I've got a book in my library at home called Cereal Killer. And on the front page there's a big picture of Fruit Loops. And you'll understand by the end of this lecture why the book's called Cereal Killer. A lot of people have bread, toast, yeah, and there's a whole aisle devoted to bread. And many people find that by mid-morning they're hungry. So then they go to the cakes or the biscuits or the donuts, so we'll just say cakes, etc. And Aussies love their pies. Do New Zealanders love their pies? Yes. And the Europeans have introduced us to pizza and pasta. I didn't know what pasta was till I was 18, but I don't think there's a home today without pasta. And if children are allowed to, they'll live on it. Is that right? And Asians have introduced us to rice. My husband's an Irishman. What must every main meal contain? Potatoes. And last, and certainly least in nutritive value, is the pure crystallized acid that's been extracted from the sugarcane plant. Would you agree with me that New Zealanders are high carbohydrate consumers? Now, everything that we eat goes into our gastrointestinal tract, and it is not part of you or me until it gets broken down to tiny substances absorbed into the blood, then it becomes part of you or me. And the tiny substance that all these foods break down to is glucose. Glucose is the main fuel used by every cell in the body. So all of this breaks down in the gut, and on Friday night I'll show you that fascinating process that does that. And then the glucose gets absorbed into the blood, and then it goes on the M1 main highway straight to the project manager, which is your liver. And then your liver determines where the glucose goes. The first place it will be sent is to the CBD, the inside workings of the cell.
The glucose that reaches the liver is distributed based on the body's needs. The liver first sends it to the cells to be used as immediate energy. Cells in the muscles, brain and other organs rely on this glucose to function properly. Whatever is not needed right away for energy is stored in two ways. First, the liver stores glucose as glycogen. Glycogen acts as a reserve that can be quickly converted back into glucose if blood sugar levels drop or if your body needs extra energy. However, the liver can only store a limited amount of glycogen. Once the liver's glycogen stores are full, any excess glucose is converted into fat. This fat is stored in various parts of the body, including around internal organs, in muscles, and under the skin. If you consume more carbohydrates than your body can immediately use, that's when the storage of fat increases. When your blood sugar levels drop, like between meals or during exercise, the liver will release some of the stored glycogen to maintain your blood sugar, but when glycogen stores run out, your body turns to stored fat for energy. This entire process is crucial for maintaining stable blood sugar levels and ensuring the body has a steady supply of energy. But when there is a continuous overconsumption of refined carbohydrates, especially sugar, the body can struggle to manage it all. This can lead to problems like weight gain, insulin resistance, and even type 2 diabetes if the cycle continues unchecked. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found valuable insights on the foods to avoid and the healthier alternatives you can make. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tips on living your healthiest life. See you next time.